Welcome once again. We are in section 5.2 in NAM's class, and this is your first video from section 5.2. Now, today we're going to be talking about some basic stuff, some concepts. We're going to cover natural number, whole number, and integers. And today we'll just talk about inequality symbols and adding. We'll do the subtracting in the next video. So, here we go. Starting off, we are going to need a definition of whole numbers and natural numbers. So, defining the natural numbers once again do not include 0, but they are the positives. So essentially it is the set that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going on forever. Those are the natural numbers. Now we'll contrast that with the whole numbers, because when we talk about the whole numbers down here, the whole numbers rather will include 0. So it's 0 in the positives. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And still the because that goes on forever. Now that right there was a review. You're supposed to know that, but I was making sure we were good on that one. Moving on. So we're going to talk about inequalities and inequality symbols. Now, what are inequalities and what are inequality symbols? Well, essentially, when we talk about inequalities, it's the contrast of an equation. An equation uses an equal signs. So what an equality is two expressions which are separated by an inequality symbol. Now you may ask what an inequality symbol is. Well, we have the greater than, we have the less than. We can also do, let's put commas in between those, make it a little prettier. We can also do the greater than or equal to. Let me get my pen, get it there. As well as the less than or equal to. So those are examples of inequality symbols. Now, two different examples of inequalities that use a different symbol. It's a little weird, but let's just take two common numbers like 2 and 5. Now, I hope you will agree with me that 2 is less than 5. That's the less than symbol. Notice how it makes an L, kind of if you tilt it sideways. And if I also talked about 5 and 2 and rearranged them, I hope you would agree that 5 is greater than 2. Now notice these are two different inequalities which are comparing the same two numbers, and that's the idea we're doing there. Alright, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to fill in the answers in a second, but stop this video and go ahead and answer each one of these. Use an inequality symbol on each one. So go ahead, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, hopefully you've taken care of that now. Now I'll fill in the answers. This is -5 and 3. -5 is definitely less than 3. I would have taken less than or equal to. Would have been more than 5. Here, looking at these two, -2 and -9, -2 is greater than -9. -9 is less than it. So this is a symbol we should have. In this case, as I said, greater than or equal to is fine as well. Between -7 and -6, -7 is the bigger number, and it's negative, so it's the bigger negative, making it smaller. That's why -6 is greater than -7, and -7 is less than -6. Finally, between 0 and -4, 0 is neutral, 4 is negative. It's -4, so 0's got to be bigger than -4. Just basic stuff, guys. Hopefully that went well. We're also going to include addition on this video. So, when you're adding two integers that have the same sign, how do you know whether or not the answer will be positive or negative? Well, if you add two positives, the result is positive. And if you add two negatives, the result is negative. In fact, if you add two positives, the result will be a bigger positive. And if you add two negatives, the result will be a bigger negative. That's the basic idea we have there. Moving down here, if you're adding two numbers that have different signs, how do you know whether or not the answer will be positive or negative? This is very important. The bigger number will all right, finishing up here. The bigger number will take over, essentially, is what I'm going to say. And let's give you an example of this. Let's say we had 7 minus 5. Notice how 7 is the bigger number, therefore it takes over. The result here is 2, and it's positive 2 because the 7 was bigger and it was the positive number. Let's take, for example, 2 plus negative 5. In this case, the negative in this case is the bigger number. 5 is bigger than 2, and it's the negative. So the result in this case will be a negative number. In fact, it's negative 3. So that's what I'm talking about. The bigger number takes over. Its sign will take over. All right, last ones here we're going to do. We are going to do these basic ones that we have with addition. Now, starting off with addition, we have 8 plus negative 5. And I have a number line I will utilize here. I encourage you to. 8 plus negative 5. Let's say 8's right here. Now when we add a negative, we go backwards. Going backwards from 8, it goes to 7, 6, 5, 4, and to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer here is 3. Pretty simple stuff, not hard. And as I said, using a number line can help. Let's take the example right here. Negative 15 plus 15. So if you were at negative 15, and you went forward 15 spots, negative 14, negative 13, negative 12, negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, it would go to 0. Check out these two. It's negative 17 plus negative 9. Now when I take a negative and add another negative, I get a bigger negative. Well, 17 plus 9 is 26. So negative 17 plus negative 9 is negative 26. I filled in the first 3, you fill in the last couple. I'm going to wait here, pause the video, fill in the last ones, and we'll be back in a sec. Alright, we're back. Let's see how your answers worked out. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4. Negative 11 plus 2, this is a negative and a positive, and the negative is the bigger number. 11 is bigger than 2. That's how I know the result's going to be negative in this case. Negative what? Well, if I was at negative 11 and went forward 2, I'd go to negative 10 and then to negative 9. Negative 9 is the answer. Last one, 23 plus 18. 2 positives added are a bigger positive. In this case, I hope you got 41.